See, none of these things I complain about, they don't exist in a vacuum, meaning having to put barbed wire around freeway signs so it won't get tagged is not that doesn't exist in a vacuum. That's literally a sign.
To something.
Yeah, but it's not like, well, that's the only problem we have. It's the freeway signs. It shows it's a bigger picture kind of thing. It's again like when you
symptom.
Yeah, when you see lots of posters saying, hey, be a dad today or something like that. It's bad. It is societally. It's a fucking horrible sign. It may just be a poster in a subway, but it means something globally.
It's an indication.
It's a bad indicator. It's a fucking bad indicator. And again, I always just say, you're walking through the mall of life. You pass the Hickory Farms. The chick's out front with the toothpick and the cellophane. She's got it put in the summer sausage. You take a bite. You don't need to go inside and buy 10 linear feet of sausage to know whether you're going to like that. You just take the one toothpick, and you're good. The barefoot thing, people tweet me pictures all day long of people in movie theaters now with their feet. But they want to be barefoot in a movie theater, but they don't want to put their feet on the ground, so they kick it up onto the headrest of the seat in front of them.
Gross.
It's your bare feet. It's your bare... Remember when bare feet used to be gross and weird and like, ooh, stinky?
Yeah, they still are.
Imagine just working and kicking there's the barefoot in between the two seats of an airplane. There's the barefoot.
The feet coming at you from all angles and from all sides is the worst.
But it's not, this is not a thing where,
you're kicking back at home on your couch.
We didn't make the Surgeon General Dr. Scholl's. And now this has happened. It's just a bigger global problem of us becoming self-absorbed fucking douchebags.
Yeah.
Like everyone just puts their earbuds in, tunes out the world, and goes, fuck everyone. I'm putting my feet wherever the fuck I want, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I am telling you, more feet. Go to amcroll.com and see more feet. Feet and dogs. By the way, 8 years from now, it'll be nothing but feet and dogs. There won't even be heads or torsos on airplanes. Just be feet, bare feet, and dogs.
And yet, paradoxically, wouldn't you rather have a dog foot
I'd rather have a
coming
dog
near you
paw.
than a
I'd rather have a
human's
dog
barefoot?
paw. But
yeah.
I do long for the simpler times when people at least remain in their socks on an airplane. Or if they did, another one people tweeted me, this is barefoot on the table at the diner.
Where's your barefoot shame? If you have to take your shoes off, which first of all I have a problem with that, keep them down by the ground where no one can see them.
Well,
don't wave them around.
I'm going to show up with my kids in a half hour with my order of chili fries and lay them out on said table that was recipient of your stinky bare feet.
Yeah.
Yes, barefoot on the table. And this isn't a thing where it's like, hey, let's break into this restaurant at night so I can experience the sensation of my bare feet on a table. No, this is fucking high noon, prime time.
Yeah.
Everyone's working and everyone's walking around. I'm just got my fucking bare feet everywhere. All right, so we got that. Again, I just use little indicators to little yardsticks, little measuring sticks to tell what colossal douchebags we're all turning into. Brought this one up before, but it's a very interesting little test for me, and I find it again to be one of those things that you wouldn't hold any water in any scientific journal, but it'd be really hard to argue with. As I told you last week, I drove to Santa Monica. I sat in traffic from here to Santa Monica, and it was an hour's worth of plodding along at 4 miles an hour. And because of my hypervigilance and just because of my the way I drive and approach life, I just stare into the rearview mirror. I just drive. I literally look forward with one eye and I stare. And I'm used to just looking for cops and chicken shit tickets, but all I do is stare into the rearview mirror. So when the guy on the motorcycle comes up between us, Dr. Spaz has entered the studio. You tell me what you think of this theory. The guy comes up to split the traffic in the motorcycle. And if you think about it, this guy hasn't changed too much. He's a 20-something-year-old dude who's on a motorcycle, usually 50-something-year-old dudes. I'm not talking about out on a Sunday Harley. I'm talking about weekday noon on the 110 or the 405 freeway. The guy comes up to split. I see him 20 cars back because I'm just tuned that way. And I'll do, and I've been experimenting with it now, a huge move where I move way over. Like just, it is very blunt and graphic how much you've seen me move to the left. Now, I'll be in the left lane. I'll be in the fast lane. So there'll be the whole, 5-6 foot shoulder there. And I'll pull over 3-4 feet, just leave my huge berth, and just to see what he does. And I was 0 for 10 from here to Santa Monica in terms of guys holding the hand out. Back in the day, Bruce,
always.
Every time you made that swing out move, I used to ride a motorcycle. If you made the swing out move, you got the hand down low. You got the left hand, not the throttle hand. You got the left hand down low. Thank you, motorists. Thank you for seeing me, being aware of me, and swinging out. There's nothing worse than being pinched when you're slicing through traffic. You make that deliberate move, you get the thank you. It used to be 8. I was 8 out of 10 in the thank you department. I just went 0 for 10. I'm probably 1 for like 28 on my last moves. Just cycle after cycle. You start to notice it. Start doing it, trying it. You don't get what's changed. If the cars change, has the motorcycle, yes, they're better, but what's changed? Or the age of the guys riding it?
Crotch rocket versus gull wing. I think gull wings, you still get more of that. Thank you. No?
You don't get the splitter on the gull wing. They don't do the splitter.
Yeah, well, that's true.
I appreciate the attempt of shitting on the point. No, we're self-absorbed and we're narcissistic.
Right.
We don't give a fuck about anyone.
You've got it locked to HTLA Radio 1, New York.
This program is intended for mature audiences only. If you have any homicidal or suicidal feelings, please consult a doctor before listening to this program. And if you just don't care, you've tuned into the right place. That's right. There you go. That was his put-on voice, I guess. I don't know what even that is. What is that doing here? What's my name? What do we know? We don't know anything. Okay. Well, hey, ladies and gentlemen, it is 3 p.m. Eastern in the big city here. Yes, it is. So that, of course, means you've got it locked to HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk, which you do because you're listening. So that means that it is time for your coffee and cigarettes. The Thursday Double-Double, of course, today for Thursday the 19th of March, 2015, where it is 38 degrees right now in the city in Central Park. Sun is shining, and I'm just lonely, still waiting here for spring, but that's what I'm doing. Yeah. So there you have it. And what do you got cooking on today's show, Crash? Well, you might ask. Oh, okay. Well, today on the big show, I got lots of stuff going on. Obama, yeah, not golfing like he bloody well should be. No, he's talking of mandatory voting now. Yes, everybody must vote. Including, I guess, all the illegal immigrants. They must vote, too, because they need a say, don't they? Yeah. And I guess because of that, Hillary now thinks she's a shoo-in, so she's just getting ready for the White House. That's it. Just, I'm going. I'm done. I'm going to be the first woman in the Oval Office. That's what I'm going to do. That's what she's all about right now. Also, a mother whose baby was cut from her womb in a vicious attack by another woman is recovering nicely. Although, there's an up and a downside to everything. Her baby is dead. Hey, ever want to be a celebrity TV chef for the Food Network? Well, there's an opening. And also, if you're looking to have more sex, the experts are saying get some sleep. Yeah, all that and so much more on today's show. So, hey, it's time to come on in and grab a cup, have a seat, and light one up, ladies and gentlemen. It's coffee time.
And just a reminder, of course, that today's episode is, of course, brought to you by the fine folks at Tim Hortons, New York City. Now with 8 fine locations in that city to serve all of your coffee and baked goods needs. Yes. So get on down there and get some today. Tim Hortons, it's always fresh. Also by PreSonus and the 2442 digital broadcast mixer we use here at HTLA Studio 2 in Manhattan. For more information on their incredible lineup of digital audio gear, go to PreSonus.com. Yeah. So lots of fun on the show today, and it wouldn't be damn near anywhere near as fun without our guest/co-hosts that do the show with me every day, I'll tell you. Of course, I do have to mention that Jenny is in the booth today, looking rather chipper. I think she has a new boyfriend or something. So she's in there, pushing those buttons, making us go, driving that PreSonus gear to its utter limit, because that's what she does. Drives you to your limit. Yes. There we go. So I guess welcoming back, of course, to the show, regular on Coffee and Cigarettes, is the one, the only Louis Lawless, formerly of Stephen J. Cannell Productions in Los Angeles, California. Now retired up in beautiful Mill Bay, British Columbia, where he currently works with Robin Webb at Mill Bay Studios, making all kinds of documentary gold. And he is on the show, of course, via satellite, like he always is, because he can't just be on the phone. It's the one, the only Louis Lawless. Are you there today, sir?
Can you give me any help for $25,000?
Absolutely. I'm all about giving you $25,000 easy.
If I go a half an hour, do I get $50,000?
That's where I'm kind of going to draw the line.
You know how to spell my last name on the check, right? It's Louis Lawless.
I sure do. I've got that.
Oh, can we cuss? Can I cuss as I always do on the show?
Don't you worry. I've got you covered with the button.
It's about fucking time. Move on.
All right. And also joining us from his sprawling, spacious, luxurious, cockroach-infested apartment is the one, the only Gilbert Gottfried. Are you ready, sir?
What the fuck? I'm ready.
Well, that's good.
Yes.
Yeah. It's going to be a good one today, I'll tell you. And also joining us on the second of 3, I guess, discretionary extra days he's giving us here at the show, because we bid farewell to him last Friday, but then incurred a series of problems, not the least of which involved some bioterror monkeys. Yeah. Is, of course, the one and only George Takei. George, thank you for being here again today.
I think it's a treat to be here talking with you.
Well, it's always great to have you. So, yeah. So there we are, George Takei and Gilbert Gottfried and the one, the only Louis Lawless, right here for your coffee and baked goods needs. Yeah.
That's the famous story about Jerry Lee Lewis. You heard that story, haven't you? Sitting behind his desk at Paramount, talking with big executives and TV people. And all of a sudden, the chick pops up underneath, wipes off her mouth, and walks out the door. And Jerry doesn't bat an eye.
Yes, the golden years of Hollywood, right there. Yeah? That's what we call that around here. And what do we got rolling around here, you might ask today? Well, I've got some, I don't know, kind of dictatorial news. Yeah. The great dictator of our fair, I don't know, imperialism land, whatever you want to call it, Obama. Yes, and it's a dead presidency now. It's just go play golf. I don't know how many times I got to tell this guy this. He just doesn't listen.
Oh, you owe it to yourself.
Oh, I know. But I keep telling him, and there's nothing that happens.
Yes.
He doesn't listen to me. I guess because I'm a douchebag. Yeah. Well, at any rate, before we get into this lovely story that our furious leader is going to make us all do now, we do have to give Gilbert some time to sing his lovely little song. So
yes.
Yeah, yes. So without further ado, yes, the lovely Gilbert singing his, go for it.
Na 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 na. Ba ma 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 ma. Oh yeah. Who wants to grow up? Who wants responsibility? Oh no, not me. Who wants to show up and work until you're 93? Now everybody says you're running wild. The teacher's calling you a problem. Ooh.
Yes, there we go. Thank you. Thank you very much. And, of course, George, give us the rundown on you.
I'm George Takei, and when I'm walking down the street, people shout out,
Hey, Sulu.
So I'm no more as Sulu than as George Takei, which is what I really am.
Well, we can only hope.
I've done Star Trek, the series, and the movie series up to the 6th one.
Yes, which is, of course, my favorite.
Yes.
There we go. So now that I've gotten all of the guest host / co-host guest speaker thing worked out there, I can finally move on with the dictatorial speech from our fearless leader. What's his name again? Baracko. Yes, Baracko. Well, Baracko says that the American people now need mandatory voting. That's correct. While discussing money and politics on Wednesday, President Obama broached a topic normally confined to academic circles, a law requiring all people to vote. Yes. Quote, he says, in Australia and some other countries, there's mandatory voting. End quote. Obama said while taking questions in the City Club of Cleveland. Quote, it would be a transformative if everybody voted. That would counteract money more than anything. End quote. Now, I ask you, panel, does that make any freaking sense whatsoever? No. No. It does not.
Yes.
What is that? And I'm the douchebag.
Yes.
Yeah. No. Wow. Yeah, over the years, a variety of political scientists have mused on the idea of requiring people to vote, citing the consistently poor turnout in U.S. elections. Could that have something to do with the retardedness that is our bipartisan system? Yeah. I think, it's funny, that they say that, the 1% of the world are the leaders and the rest of the world are the sheep. Well, then I would submit to the leaders, don't you think there's a problem when the sheep have figured out your shell game? Yeah. I'm just thinking that's it, really.
Oh, that's why power is corrupt, and it is. We see it every day. We see it in every job. It's the same thing.
Well, yeah, but not quite like this guy. No, no. Well, yeah. Critics have often questioned the practicality of passing and enforcing such a requirement. Others say that freedom also means that it's freedom not to do something. As Obama noted, however, other countries do have mandatory voting laws. Well, I would submit to him that those are prime ministers, not imperialistic Caesars. Yeah. Well, in addition to Australia, the Associated Press has reported that at least 24 countries have some form of compulsory voting, including Belgium, Brazil, and Argentina. In many systems, absconders must provide a valid excuse or face a firing squad. Yeah. Well, during his Cleveland remarks, Obama noted that many young people, minorities, and low-income workers tend not to vote, and that some lawmakers want to discourage them from doing so. Getting more people to vote would completely change the political map in this country, Obama said. We may indeed have a real Caesar. Yeah. Yes. Also reports the Associated Press is less than 37% of eligible voters cast ballots in the 2014 midterms, according to the United States Election Project. And a Pew Research Center study that found those avoiding the polls in 2014 tended to be younger, poorer, less educated, and more racially diverse. They left out the categories of professional middle class who are tired of now being the ragged poor. Yeah. Yes, because that's right. So there you go. So, yeah, Obama's big answer now, the big change to be imparted on this country before he just walks away and goes golfing is, of course, to make everybody vote. Yeah. Yes, that will be the key. That's the ticket. Well, I guess his comments have stirred Clinton in thinking that she will definitely win in a landslide if everybody has to vote. Yes. Because, well, it's the woman vote.
Yes.
You know, that's the thing. It's you know, now we've had the black man in the Oval Office. It's time for change. Women. Yes, women in the Oval Office. And then, you know what it'll be. She won't be able to carry 2 terms because she's a freaking moron.
Yes.
And of course, what'll happen in 2020 will be we'll have transgender president. Time for a change. Yeah.
You are a douchebag.
Well,
yes.
I know.
Bullshitters, never keep your mouth shut. Always hustling, always looking for something to do and putting things together. That's American. Look how they took the country away from England.
Well, and you know that's fine. That's kind of what they do, right?
Break for a commercial.
No. No, we got to get into this Hillary story because it is top news, I'm telling you.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, New York, even before formally launching her presidential campaign, Hillary Rodham Clinton is already laying the groundwork for a potentially potent campaign theme. Oh, yes. Your chance, America, your chance to elect the first woman president. There you go. That's the platform that is going to win the country. In you know, wow. Where do I start with this? I don't know where to start with this.
I'd like to have that as my slogan in life.
Yeah. Well. Yes, your chance to elect the first woman is right here, and it's staring you in the face. You know,
what the fuck?
Yeah, I know.
I'm ready.
Are you? Are you going to do it?
Yes.
Well, for Republicans, that means they would again have to confront the appeal of a history-making candidate, just as they did in 2008 when then-Senator Barack Obama was running to be the first African-American president. It's funny how when he actually became president, we weren't sure what the hell he was. Well, he's a Muslim. He's Hawaiian. He's chocolate flavored. He's what is that? We don't know. But well, wait. We'll get his ID.
Yes.
Yeah. That worked out well. No, it didn't. Yeah. So clearly, you know. Choice in 2016. Well, yeah, let's go for that first woman. Yeah. Yeah. Well, see, and this really bothers me too, because of course, if the Republican Party does just glom on to this first woman president thing, you know that means the unknown Scott Walker is just going to be by the wayside. You know. He's going to be gone, you know.
The music is fantastic.
Yes.
Oh, you gotta hear it.
Okay, well, we've got the music and the African American president, and soon the woman president, and yeah, there you go. Throughout March, Clinton's public appearances have focused largely on gender equity issues, though they were almost entirely overshadowed by controversy over her use of personal email while Secretary of State. She spoke at an event for Emily's List, which raises money for Democratic female candidates, like herself. That's good. I'm doing it for the Democratic female candidates, not for me. I'm selfless. Oh wait, I'm Republican. Oh wait, I don't know. Oh, my husband said what? Where is he now? He's under whose desk?
Yes.
Well, he's gender fluid, you know. He's gonna be he's gonna be Monica. Yeah. That'll be it. See, there you go. Now we figured it out. In 2020, it's gonna be Monica Clinton for. He's gonna pull the Bruce Jenner and just. I'm a woman now. Yeah. I love all that peanut butter. I used to think it was good when I was a man, but now as a woman, I just put it in my hoo-hoo, and it's so damn yummy. Yes, so moving on from Bill Clinton's hoo-hoo. Yes, she unveiled a report on women in global political leadership with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and she spoke at the United Nations Conference on Women. United Nations, what the hell do they have to do with women? Oh, okay. Oh, I know what it is. No, I got it. I figured it out. You know all those letters that they send to all those dictators who are killing their people off and all that stuff?
Yes.
Right? Well, what they're doing is, I guess that they've got women now in the UN who write those letters to make you feel bad. Yeah. Oh, I'm on a roll today. I'm feeling better. The medication is working.
Yes.
Working, yeah. Well, on the eve of St. Patrick's Day, she accepted an award from Irish America magazine on behalf of all the women I met and admired in Northern Ireland at the time of the 1998 peace accords. Then she put in a subtle plug for women's abilities as diplomats. Women, where women are involved, everybody feels worse. Yeah, and by making them feel worse and guilty, we get what we want. Yeah. Well, yes, the peace work permeates down to the kitchen table, to the backyard, to the neighborhood. Around cups of tea, there's a much better chance the peace agreement will hold with a few used tampons kicking around. Yeah. I know. I shouldn't have said that. Jenny's bouncing up and down the booth going, oh, my God, you're so fired. Yeah. It's the medication, Jenny. I don't know what I'm saying.
I'd like to have that as my slogan.
Well, during her first run for the presidency, Clinton's most pointed reference to the historic nature of her candidacy came only in her concession speech, when she mentioned trying to break, quote, the highest, hardest glass ceiling. That would be the unspoken narrative of the 2016 campaign, just as Obama's status as an African American was in 2008, says Jennifer Lawless of American University's Women in Politics Institute. So in 2008, of course, Barack won, Oprah cried. And we can look forward to 2016 when Hillary wins and Gloria Steinem cries. Yeah.
You are a douchebag.
I know. But this douchebag does have to go for our first commercial break of the show. So when we come back, we'll finish off Hillary there, and then, well, we'll talk about how peaceful those women are as we give you a story about one who cut the baby right out of the womb of another. We'll be back in 2.
You've got it locked to New York's best talk, HTLA Radio 1.
What if there was a coffee that was sourced from some of the world's most renowned growing regions. Abundant with rich, fertile soil. What if this coffee was picked at the perfect moment, then packed meticulously and shipped carefully to be roasted under the watchful eye of coffee masters? What if it was expertly blended, ground, and sealed, ensuring maximum flavor and freshness, then brewed in small batches and always served fresh within 20 minutes, just the way you like it? Now, what if this coffee just happened to be the coffee you already know and love? Tim Hortons. Always fresh. Always great tasting coffee.
Man, I've been to a lot of places over these past 50 years. Seen the whole true north strong and free. 'Cause I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Cooksville, Stouffville, Bainesville, Bowmanville, Bonnieville, Unionville, Oakville, Dunville, Brockville, Boucherville, Melville, Drummondville, Kentville, Grenville, Morinville, Maryville, Parksville, Stephenville, Sackville, Spring Hill, Westville, Walkerville, hanging on a windowsill. Hey! He said, wow, that's a lot of places. I said, hang on, there's more. I've been to Moncton, Picton, Shannon, Vernon, Stellarton, Hamilton, Nipigon, Nobleton, Yorkton, Brighton, Bolton, Beaverton, Brandon, Edmonton, Walkerton, Wyerton, Granby, Miramichi, Charlottetown, Burnaby, Yellowknife, Whitehorse, Corner Brook, none of it. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. I crossed the prairies bare, man. I breathed the mountain air. I've traveled, I've done my share, man. I've been everywhere, man. Check it out. Ottawa, Wawa, Mattawa, Chippewa, Moose Jaw, Oshawa.
When we arrived at our hotel in New York, the porter was so incredibly careless with our bags. And the room they gave us, it was beautiful. A broom closet. But the worst part was the shower. My wife drying herself with the Egyptian cotton towels. Shower curtain defined that whole vacation for her. Don't just visit New York. Visit TripAdvisor New York.
With millions of reviews, a visit to TripAdvisor makes any destination better.
Some said the U.S. has lost its innovative power. We said America is lighting the way as the innovation nation. Singular insights, superior execution. That's the power of global connections. Bank of America Merrill Lynch. Voted top global research firm 2011, 12, and 13.
I've been so inspired by being in New York because everything from what people are wearing on the street to the way they're interacting with each other, to drive through the West Village at night and you see a couple kissing on the street, or you see someone fighting outside their apartment, or you see so much humanity on a daily basis that even if you're not inspired by your own life that day, you can be inspired by someone else's life.
You got that long hair, slick back, white t-shirt, and I got that good girl face and a tight little skirt. And when we go crashing down, we come back every time, 'cause we never go out, we never style, we never go out of style. Take me out.
There's only one place to get more Taylor. We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
I remember growing up, it seemed like Juliet Prowse was on TV every day.
Yeah. I bet it was. I of course wasn't watching TV in 1947. Yeah.
You being Catholic, you realize that you can't have birth control. You realize that?
No.
Yes.
No, I don't think so.
Now, here's a segue. Here's a name out of nowhere. But
Right.
I don't know. I just thought, because she's really of, like, more modern but still old Hollywood. Raquel Welch.
Boy, Gilbert, you're really on the stuff from 50 years ago, aren't you? Oh, man.
Break for a commercial.
All right, yeah. Let's do that. Well, you of course, are back with Coffee and Cigarettes at HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk, of course. And you heard some of that right there. I guess that was the best. The best we could come up with on short notice. 38 degrees right now, Central Park. Still sunny. And it's, 3:28 in the p.m. this afternoon. And we're humming along with the Thursday Double-Double brought to you by Tim Hortons New York City. Now with 8 locations to serve all of your coffee and baked goods needs.
Yes.
Yep. There you go. I think you guys all know this all by heart now, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's about fucking time. Move on.
All right, yes. So where were we before we left the lovely panel of listeners here? I'd like to welcome those 247 million at iHeartRadio, of course, too.
Yes.
Yeah, welcome. It's always good to have more peeps in the in the house. Yeah. You're very agreeable today, Gilbert. It's scary.
Yes.
Well, Clinton will have a powerful appeal to women voters, says Diane Bystrom, a woman. Yeah. Actually, she's the director of the Carrie Chapman Catt Center for Women and Catty Politics at Iowa State University. She says, I think there are a lot of people that are still almost a bit angry that she didn't become the first woman president in 2008 after that Negro fiasco. Yeah. She says, now there's a kind of a feeling out there that our time has finally come.
You are a douchebag.
Well, I might be a douchebag, but I can play a hell of a sexy woman. Well, during her first run for the presidency, Clinton's most pointed reference to the historic nature of her candidacy came only in her concession speech, when she mentioned loosely trying to break, quote, the highest, hardest glass ceiling. That would be the unspoken narrative of that 2016 campaign, just as Obama's status as African-American was in 2008. Now, if she is nominated, Clinton and her GOP opponent would most likely be competing for a narrow slice of independent, even Republican-leaning women voters. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the dog likes that for sure. You bet. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, women already tend to vote Democratic. In 2012, 55% of women voted for President Obama over Mitt Romney, compared with the 45% of men. And compare that to the 22% of the country that actually turned out. Yeah. Well, in statewide races, women don't necessarily disproportionately support female candidates, points out Katie Packer, a Republican consultant, but for obvious reasons, there's no data yet on whether that would hold true in a presidential contest. Well, I've always kind of felt that the female voters out there would be looking for that, bigger-than-life, John Wayne, square-jawed, yes, absolutely, dog. They'd be looking for that man who will lead them, that man. That's why I'm not really too surprised at these numbers. I mean, women want to put their trust in a man, or is that too traditional? Maybe I'm being old hat, but the numbers don't seem to say so. Still, Republicans have to make sure we're doing things so that we're ensuring that gender gap margin isn't larger than it ought to be, she says. Next thing you know, we'll have another Ferguson on our hands. Yeah. One way to do that might be fairly straightforward. Republicans may have the chance to nominate a female candidate. Former Hewlett-Packard CEO Carla Fiorina, who ran unsuccessfully for the Senate from California in 2010, has made multiple trips to Iowa and New Hampshire and says that she is considering a presidential run. Don't these women CEOs realize? I mean, I have a personal friend who used to be the CEO of Time Warner, and she knows, but I guess maybe these other ones don't know. Here it is, ladies. When large American corporations hire you as CEO, it's to save money. It's just a shareholder's decision.
Yes.
That's it. You don't actually do anything. You're just there, and you're looking all good and PC, and that's how and you come at 70% of the ticket. So. Well, she whipped up the crowd at last month's Conservative Political Action Conference with some zingers at Clinton's expense. Yes. Flying is an activity, not an accomplishment, she said, about Clinton's globe-trotting tenure as Secretary of State. Yeah. And Republicans will also have to avoid mistakes of previous elections where one ill-thought comment causes the entire party to lose ground with women voters, says Mary Bono, former congresswoman from California. The prime example when then Rep. Todd Akin, running for state senate from Missouri in 2012, said that legitimate rape could not result in pregnancy. Now, he did, yeah. Akin for rape. I did a Crash Talk show on that back then, way back then in the old days when everything was black and white. Yeah. We risk losing that woman's voting block every election anyway, and we risk losing it on single issues oftentimes or on one mistake out of the candidate's mouth. Well, yeah, that's women. Yeah. Come on. You screw up once, it's all over.
Yes.
Oh, man. Well, male Republicans have learned from their mistakes and are better prepared to run against women candidates, says GOP pollster Kellyanne Conway. She tells her clients who have included Iowa Representative Steve King in a 2012 race against Democrat Christy Vilsack, the state's former First Lady, don't bang any mistresses while you're running. Actually, what she did say was, don't so much as roll your eyes or make a sideways glance at the female opponent. You have to look like you're listening, like you care about what she says, and respect that. That's what she says right here. I didn't make that up. That's real, ladies and gentlemen. That's the, Wow. Kelly Sullivan, a Democratic National Committee member in New Hampshire, suspects Republicans will argue that the nation is past worrying about first women anything. The smart Republicans will know that you don't attack somebody for being a woman, she says. Oh, damn, I didn't know that. Shit. I'm done. I'm just done. I'm so done. The smart Republicans will know that you don't attack somebody for being a woman, yes. What they will try to do is say, it shouldn't matter. Right. That's what it shouldn't matter. And that's a good thing, because then we can save, 30% on CEOs. Yeah. Well, it's more likely, Bystrom says, that Republicans will deal with Clinton's groundbreaking potential by ignoring it. I wouldn't even try to make it a gender issue, she says. Republicans will simply go after Clinton on everything else. The 2016 GOP field has already started. Rand Paul has accused her of arrogance and hypocrisy. Well, wait a minute. Isn't that all of them? I think it's pretty much, it's all of them.
It's just life, and I love doing it. I love doing these kind of stories anyway.
So thank you, Louis.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, over her personal email use, of course, the arrogance and hypocrisy. Marco Rubio virtually called her over the hill when he said last month that the word he associates with her is yesterday. Yeah. Much like your Raquel Welch, Gilbert.
Yes.
Yeah. So yesterday. Fiorina ripped the Clinton Foundation for accepting donations from foreign governments in countries where women have few, if any, legal rights. There you go. That's That's what I'm talking about right there. Conway, the Republican pollster, says that the key question is, will moderate Republican women and, more frighteningly, truly independent-leaning Republican women will these independent thinkers, on behalf of my daughters and sisterhood and approaching the 100th anniversary of women having the right to vote, let's elect a woman? I do worry about that. That's what she says. That would be a greater concern if Republicans nominate former Florida Governor Jeb Bush, Conway says. I worry about it specifically if it's, do you want the third Bush or the first woman? Yeah. The third Bush. And speaking of celebrating the joy of women, moving on to our next story, this heartwarming, touching story. It really grabs you by the womb. In Longmont, Colorado, a mother who was stabbed and had her unborn baby girl taken out of her womb by another woman is recovering in the hospital, according to police. Police said the 26-year-old mother, whose name has not been released, is alert and answering officers' questions with her family around her. Her baby died, of course, during that crime.
You being Catholic, you realize that you can have birth control. You realize that?
It wasn't me. Yeah. Well, Danielle Catrice Lane, 34, who was arrested Wednesday after police say she attacked the victim, who was 7 months pregnant, is scheduled to appear in court today. It is unlikely that Lane, who was booked into the Boulder County Jail facing charges of attempted first-degree murder, first-degree assault, and child abuse resulting in death, will face actual murder charges. However, she could face felony charges under Colorado's laws against unlawful termination of a pregnancy. Yes. But then, of course, I'm sure she would have to be tried as a doctor. Yeah. Well, speaking to the Lamont Times, the Boulder County District Attorney Stanley Garnett described Colorado laws involving crimes against unborn children as complicated. In most circumstances, if a child was not actually born alive, then homicide charges are not possible. Garnett told the newspaper, adding that the charges would not need to be filed until next week, that it is likely that the most serious charge that Lane would face may be attempted first-degree murder, a Class 2 felony punishable by 16 to 48 years in prison. Additional charges could be added for ending the victim's pregnancy. Lamont Police Commander Jeff Satur said that the Lane later showed up at the area hospital with the deceased baby, claiming a miscarriage. Satur said Lane's husband drove her to the emergency room thinking the child was alive. He said the husband is not considered a suspect, just a cab driver. Yeah. Well, the ambush actually happened around 2 p.m. Wednesday at Lane's home. Satur and Lane and the 26-year-old victim did not know each other prior to the incident. The victim was responding to a Craigslist ad for baby clothes and came alone to Lane's home. We've made some requests of Craigslist to try and freeze that account, Satur said. At this point, we don't want to give away too much because we don't want it to get removed. And they just use another email address and make a new one anyway. Well, police said that the victim had been beaten and stabbed in the stomach before the baby was allegedly removed. When officers arrived at the scene at the Green Place home, they could hear the mother calling for help from inside the house. She was taken to Longmont United Hospital and underwent surgery. Police have not determined a motive. Lane has 2 children of her own and appears she might have lost a child more than 10 years ago. Lane previously worked as a certified nurse's aide for 2 years in Colorado hospitals. There you go. That's there's the other shoe. Yeah. An obituary from Pueblo lists Dinelle Cruz as the mother of a 1-year-old boy who died on July 2nd, 2002. In addition, court records indicate Dinelle Cruz, all through marriage, changed her last name to Lane 3 years later. The obituary says Michael Alexander Cruz was just 19 months old when he passed away. It is not clear if anyone other than Lane and the victim were in the home at the time of the attack. Possibly more Craigslist people. Yeah. So there you go. That's that. And we're going to go for our next commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to tell you about a new opening for a celebrity TV chef on the Food Network. Back in 2.
You've got it locked to New York's best talk, HTLA Radio 1.
Man, I've been to a lot of places over these past 50 years. Seen the whole true north strong and free. 'Cause I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Cooksville, Stouffville, Bainesville, Bowmanville, Bonnieville, Unionville, Oakville, Dunville, Brockville, Boucherville, Melville, Drummondville, Kentville, Grenville, Morinville, Maryville, Parksville, Stephenville, Sackville, Spring Hill, Westville, Walkerville, hanging on a windowsill. Hey! He said, wow, that's a lot of places. I said, hang on, there's more. I've been to Moncton, Picton, Shannon, Vernon, Stellarton, Hamilton, Nipigon, Nobleton, Yorkton, Brighton, Bolton, Beaverton, Brandon, Edmonton, Walkerton, Wyerton, Granby, Miramichi, Charlottetown, Burnaby, Yellowknife, Whitehorse, Corner Brook, Nunavut. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. I crossed the prairies bare, man. I breathed the mountain air. I've traveled, I've done my share, man. I've been everywhere, man. Check it out. Ottawa, Wawa, Mattawa, Chippewa, Moose Jaw, Oshawa.
It could be 7 in the morning.
Or 10 at night.
In Chilliwack, BC.
Or St. Peter's, Nova Scotia.
It could be Michelle.
Or Mark.
Or Jen.
But whenever, wherever you order that cup of Tim Hortons Premium Blend Coffee,
You know that it's always fresh.
From Newfoundland and Labrador to Vancouver Island, Tim Hortons, a coffee all our own.
You walked into the hotel as a 5. But when she saw the room, you turned into a weird 7. When she saw the rooftop pool, you went to 11. You two should probably get a room. Oh, that's right. You already did. At Planet Earth's #1 accommodation site, Booking.com. Booking.yeah.
Some said the U.S. has lost its innovative power. We said America is lighting the way as the innovation nation. Singular insights, superior execution. That's the power of global connections. Bank of America Merrill Lynch. Voted top global research firm 2011, 12, and 13.
I've been so inspired by being in New York because everything from what people are wearing on the street to the way they're interacting with each other, to drive through the West Village at night and you see a couple kissing on the street, or you see someone fighting outside their apartment, or you see so much humanity on a daily basis that even if you're not inspired by your own life that day, you can be inspired by someone else's life.
You got that long hair, slicked back, white t-shirt, and I got that good girl face and a tight little skirt. And when we go crashing down, we come back every time, 'cause we never go out, we never go out, we never go out of style. Take me
There's only one place to get more Taylor.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
We were 5 steps away from winning the Academy Award.
Yeah.
And we did.
Well, you know, sometimes that stuff, it just happens, Lou.
You know why, Chris? Because you're such a control freak, you don't want anyone to tell you what to do.
Really? Is that... Yeah? You think so, huh?
No, I don't.
You know, I'm the most talented guy in this room.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give you that, sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, welcome back to the big show. The big show, of course, being HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk. coffee and cigarettes this afternoon. 3:47 this afternoon in the big city right now. 38 degrees Central Park. Sun shining. I'm still bloody waiting for anything above 50. I'm not getting any love here for this Thursday, the 19th of March, 2015. But hey, we are having a pretty good show here today, and you know, I'm not even going to try and stop the hits. No, there's an opening at Food Network now for a celebrity TV chef. It could be you, Gilbert.
Yes.
Yeah. It could. Or George, or hell, even Louie or myself. I might take it up. And what caused this opening, you may ask? Well, in Leicester, North Carolina, a man accused of killing a celebrity chef, her husband, and their unborn child also appears to have ties to a teen's disappearance 15 years ago in nearby Asheville. Robert Jason Owens, 36, of Leicester, was charged Tuesday with first-degree murder and murder of an unborn child in the deaths of Joseph J.T. Codd, 45, and his wife, Christy Schoen Codd, 38, also of Leicester. Bern County Sheriff's Office said Owens also was charged with breaking and entering and larceny, accused of breaking into the Codd's home on Sunday and stealing a laptop, jewelry, and a Glock handgun with a combined value of $2,500. Owens, court-appointed lawyer and assistant capital defender Victoria Jane, District Attorney Todd Williams hasn't announced whether he will pursue the death penalty against Owens. Owens, who owns a construction business and did remodeling at the Codd's home, also was the main suspect in the disappearance of Zeb Quinn, an 18-year-old who was vanished in 2000. Despite persistent efforts to gather evidence against him, authorities never were able to charge Owens in the case, which they also consider a murder. In February 2000, a little more than a month after Quinn disappeared, a Buncombe County Superior Court judge issued a search warrant authorizing officers to draw hair, blood, and saliva samples from Owens. In April 2007, Asheville police obtained a search warrant to look over Owens' property for human remains. Police used ground-piercing radar to search the property to no avail. The effort involved scientists from NecroSearch, a nonprofit organization that locates clandestine graves. Yeah. Yeah, I never would have figured that a company named NecroSearch would be looking for bodies. Yeah. Well, officials have released no official motive for the crime and have no 911 calls associated with it, they said. As far as social media goes, it's a pretty boring case. Yeah. No tweets, no beheadings, no. Yeah, it's just kind of boring. It's good old-fashioned crime is what that is. The sheriff's office became involved Sunday after investigators believed that the victims died Thursday, according to arrest warrants. J.T. Codd worked as a grip in the film industry, handling cameras and director's equipment. Okay. His wife, who went by her professional name of Schoen, was a finalist in Season 8 of the TV show Food Network's Star, and also found success in the movie catering business. They came to the North Carolina area to start an aquaponics farm and farm-to-table cafe. In a statement Wednesday, Quinn's mother, Denise Valkis, asked for the support of the Codd family. Like everyone else in the community, our family is horrified by what has happened, Valkis said. We want to remind everyone that Jason's arrest has nothing to do with Zeb's case, and that as of now, there is no new information concerning Zeb that we are aware of. We are hopeful that if anyone has any information concerning Zeb's whereabouts and or disappearance, they will now come forward before this poor man is given the electric chair. Yeah. Well, cooking shows, eh? You gotta love them. You gotta love them.
Well, okay, I think, see, this is something like a lot of people don't understand, but I know you understand it. And like I think we both have that fascination of show business that it's a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, if you say so. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it might be time to turn off the Food Network. A new study in Appetite magazine suggests that cooking shows actually make viewers fat. Cornell University researchers surveyed 501 random women between 20 and 35 about their cooking habits, then took height and weight measurements to discover each participant's body mass index. What they found is women who watched cooking shows and cooked frequently from scratch, also known as the doers, weighed an average of 164 pounds. The viewers, women who watched the shows but didn't usually cook the recipes, weighed an average of 153 pounds, or 11 pounds lighter. Being a doer may put you at risk for packing on extra pounds and for having a higher BMI. Study author Lizzie Pope explains that those who use social media, including Pinterest and Twitter, to find recipes were also linked to a higher BMI. It's the evil Twitter making her fat. Yeah. No, I'm serious. You know, my lovely wife Kate, she's a doer. Oh God, is she ever? Oh my. Yeah, she's a doer, all right, and you know, she cooks from scratch every single day of the week. You know, 6 o'clock, dinner's on the table. That's the way it is. She kind of does do the cooking show thing, but more as a host. She's actually exploring some opportunities now with the Food Network, and well, now there seems to be a space available. So this might be her big break, but you know, she's what, 128 pounds soaking wet, you know, like yes. That's, you know, and I mean, we do the roast beef and Yorkshire pudding and the 6-course meals just about every night of the week. You know, there's only rare occasions when, you know, she's got to go to an event or something where, you know, that prep time in the afternoon she doesn't get, but other than that, she's in that kitchen doing what women's supposed to be doing. Yeah. Wearing nothing, of course, but a what? Well, an apron on cold days. There you go. Well, other women said dietitians, magazines, cooking blogs, newspapers, health websites, and YouTube influenced their cooking habits, but they weren't associated with a higher BMI. The Washington Post reports that previous research found the more time that women cooked at home, the higher their chance of developing symptoms of metabolic syndrome. But Pope warns that her study and others don't suggest you should just eat out instead. The key is finding healthy recipes, she says. And cooking show recipes are not necessarily portraying healthy recipes. In fact, they lead viewers to assume that regularly cooking with fatty foods like butter is normal. Restaurant quality meals really shouldn't be eaten every day, Pope says. Food show executives and hosts need to realize that they are social role models and have a role to play in battling fat people. Yeah. Yes, there you go. And, you know, moving on here today, we've got another story that's kind of interesting to me. It hits home, if you will. It's all about sex, you know.
I remember being on your radio show in Chicago.
Yes, we've covered this, Gilbert. Never happened. Didn't have a radio show in Chicago.
Yeah, and I remember we hung out afterwards and had a wild time.
Yeah, I'm sure we did. Probably something to do with an alley and needles and all that good stuff. Yeah.
And I remember, too, when we were in the alleyway, pants zipped up.
Right.
There was this one, you know, sleazy-looking guy who walked by who was staring at us, and you turned around, and, yeah, I mean, he was what? What's your problem? And you said, like, you don't give a shit.
There it is, you know.
He needs love, Chris. Come on.
Well, I know.
You got to dispense more love from yourself. All these people are hurting here.
Oh, they're hurting. Yeah. Well, moving on today. Our next story is, for more sex, get more sleep. Yes, that's the word out from, who the hell? Oh, CBS. Yeah, women who sleep more are a lot more likely to do other things in bed. According to a new study, researchers from the University of Michigan's Sleep and Circadian Research Laboratory tracked 171 college-age women over 14 days and found those that got more sleep had more and better sex, with every extra hour of sleep raising the likelihood of having sex the next day by a total of 14%. The intersection of sleep and sexual functioning has been largely overlooked since a few studies in the 1960s. The researchers write in the study, published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine, more sleep boosted sexual desire even when factors like changes in mood were controlled for, reports the New York Times. The study's lead author says that while snoozing won't provide a magic fix for your sexual problems, people experiencing issues should definitely make sure they're getting enough sleep. If there's anything a woman or their partners can do to help promote good sleep for one another, or whether it's helping out around the house, beta male, or reduce the workload, planning those romantic getaways or just practicing good sleep hygiene could help protect against having problems in the bedroom. He tells CBS another recent study found that married couples experience a sexual rebound after 50 years together. Yeah. All right, Robin, honey, I'm coming. You see, my secret, though, is to keep Kate actually in the kitchen. You know, she busts her ass all day in the kitchen, and then she's ready for sex. And, well, is that sleep? Maybe. Okay, maybe I'm doing some necrophilia or something. I don't know. There it is. Well, say it ain't snow. Snowzilla's rearing his ugly head again. The winter storm is slated for the first day of spring. It may arrive tomorrow, but for folks in the beleaguered Northeast, which is, yes, a bunch of us here on the show today, winter weather is going to hang on for at least another day. With just enough cold air available, a late-season snowfall is becoming likely from eastern Ohio to southern New England, including many of the major cities along the I-95 corridor, says meteorologist Dave Hamrick of the National Weather Service. Well, who the hell cares about Dave anyway? Yeah. Screw him. Well, most of the accumulation should occur on grassy and forested surfaces, he said. The swath of heaviest snow is scheduled to be 3 to 6 inches and will stretch from West Virginia Panhandle to western Maryland, central and eastern Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey, and the interior southeastern New York State. The winter storm watches and warnings are in place across these areas. In the big cities, the Weather Service predicts less than an inch. In Washington, D.C., 2 to 3 inches. Philadelphia, 3 to 5. And New York City here, 1 to 2. Poor visibility and what? I don't know what that says. Poor visibility. Oh, I guess de-icing. That's the word. I'm like, poor visibility and de-icing. What is de-icing? Well, the de-icing operations will continue to airline delays and potential flight cancellations. Astronomical spring arrives at Friday, 6:45 p.m. Eastern at the spring equinox. This is the moment that the sun's rays shine directly on the equator, causing the planet to explode. Yeah. Well, following the snowstorm, though, a mild day is on tap for Saturday. Another cold shot arrives Saturday night and Sunday, plunging temperatures down to 10 and 25 degrees below average. It's just not nice. Below average temperatures are likely to outnumber warmer than average days by at least 1 to 2 from the upper Midwest to the Northeast through April, says AccuWeather meteorologist Alex Snowski. Yes. Snowski. I guess if you want to know snow, ask snow. Yeah. Well, finally today on the Big Coffee and Cigarettes program, Freaky Friday. Yes, it's not just the first day of spring, it's the first Aurora Borealis and now solar eclipse. What a week for sky watchers. I think Kate just blew up in the kitchen. Yeah. She's got her new Food Network TV show and she just blows up. It's all over. Well, it occurs Friday, the first day of spring, and the same day as the super moon. One caveat, however, the total eclipse will not be visible anywhere in the USA and will be seen only by folks in some rather remote islands in far northern Europe Friday morning. Residents of the Danish-owned Faroe Islands and the sparsely inhabited Norwegian island group of Svalbard will be the only lucky ones to see the full spectacle. Yes, go to Svalbard. Yes. Ingar, we must go to Svalbard and see the moon. Get to the chopper.
Yes.
Well, depending on where you are in Europe, you will see anywhere from roughly 50 to 99% of the sun's diameter eclipsed by the moon, according to Space.com's Joe Rao. Those of us in the USA can watch the eclipse starting online at 4:30 in the morning. Yes, I'm staying up for that. No. But you can check that out at slooh.com. This is the Earth's first and only total solar eclipse of the year, and the first one since November 2013, NASA reports. The next total solar eclipse in the USA will be in August 2017. There will be 2 lunar eclipses in the USA this year, April 4th and April 28th. September, 28th, yeah. 2 other astronomical events will take place Friday, the spring vernal equinox, which marks the beginning of spring in the northern hemisphere, and the so-called supermoon. Also, witches will be dropping dead from heart attacks from bad spells. What makes it super, you may ask? Well, when it's a full or new moon coincides with perigee, the moon's closest point to Earth is in its orbit. Basically, the supermoon, when full, appears a bit bigger and brighter than the usual night sky. Since the supermoon is during a new moon, it will not be visible, but it will block out the sun during the solar eclipse. The spring equinox, when the sun shines directly on the equator, occurs at 6:45 p.m. Eastern Friday. So we'll be able to get one more coffee and cigarettes in before the world explodes. Yep. And that's it, damn it. Yeah. I'd like to thank the one, the only Louis Lawless for joining us on the show today.
Which woman are you married to or living with now? The same one? The mother of the daughter, or was it a boy?
It doesn't matter. I have birth control.
You being Catholic, you realize that you can have birth control. You realize that?
Absolutely. I got you, sir. Also, thank you once again for George Takai for coming in today and sitting in. Once again, we will have our new mystery magic guest here this coming Monday, as long as I don't die. So thank you, George, for filling in today, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
I've enjoyed it thoroughly. It has been a fantastic experience.
Well, it's great to have you, sir. Thank you. And, of course, the one, the only Gilbert Gottfried. Yes. You're just amazing.
Thank you for listening and support the show for the love of God.
There you go.
But I love every second of it.
Well, we're glad, and we'll see you here tomorrow for sure. So that's it for us today here on Coffee and Cigarettes, HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk, the Thursday Double-Double. Thanks for hanging out, and we will definitely see you tomorrow for the Friday Frappuccino, 3 p.m. Eastern. Don't be late, don't miss it, and God bless, and we'll all get ready to die together. Have a good afternoon. We'll see you tomorrow.
Guy in this room.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA